Hi everyone, I'm really excited to be here presenting Xporter and the value it can add to your projects and teams. Xporter for Jira is a robust tool designed to streamline the process of exporting Jira data into various formats such as Word, Excel, PDF, and more. This tool simplifies the extraction of project data within Jira, making it as easy as clicking a button. You have the flexibility to export data at different levels, whether it's a single issue after conducting a search, all the tickets in the current sprint, or even automating the generation of release notes. The choice is yours, depending only on your specific needs. What sets Xporter apart is its customization options. You can tailor your exports using templates, filters, variables, and attachments. This means that while Xporter fetches the data, you have the freedom to incorporate your own design and structure into the templates, resulting in a unique and personalized report. Moreover, you can set up automated exports using triggers and receive them by email or host them in a file server like Confluence, streamlining repetitive tasks. In summary, Xporter for Jira empowers you to effortlessly create professional reports and documents from your Jira data within minutes, thanks to its user-friendly features and extensive customization capabilities. Xporter is not just a powerful add-on, it's also a top-rated application with over 4,000 installations on the Atlassian marketplace. We are proud to be a part of the Atlassian Staff Pick bundle of apps, ensuring you have access to a trusted and a highly rated tool. And here's the best part, you can access all of these benefits with just a simple click. Installation is a breeze and using the app is a piece of cake. Our dedicated support team is always at your service. Rest assured you will receive fast and insightful feedback from our experienced team members who are ready to assist you. While creating templates is already a user-friendly process, we've made it even easier with the Xporter Academy. This resource offers a series of exercises designed to help you understand the app's functionality and become proficient in its usage. Last, but certainly not least, to enhance the convenience of using Xporter, we've introduced our template store. Here you can discover a variety of pre-made templates that are ready for immediate use, further simplifying and streamlining your experience with the Xporter app. This being said, let's move on with our live demo session. I will present to you some key capabilities of Xporter while demonstrate one of our top and most valuable use cases. So, why do we need Xporter? Jira already has an option to extract data from issues. So I can, for instance, print cards, and this would give me an idea of all the open tickets I had, or at least select the tickets for my sprint. But this doesn't say much. I can also select an issue and export it to XML, but this is not super readable for every audience, and I can also export it to Word or print it, which will have more or less the same vision. And well, indeed I have the information here, but this will be impossible to change or to customize. So although it's viable, it's not the best solution out there to share a report of issue status or a sprint status with team members, stakeholders, managers, so on and so forth. So how does Xporter work? Xporter, as both myself and Francisco told you, is an add-on, so you can install it via the Atlassian marketplace. Okay, so you can search for Xporter, it will appear here as a staff pick, and you can get started. I already have it, so I can see it here already in my app settings, and I have Xporter enabled. One quick example of what Xporter does is extracting data from an issue. So if you remember, this was the look and feel of native Jira issue data extract. This is what Xporter can do. So after having Xporter installed, I can press these three dots, wait for him to load all the templates that I have, and have something like this. I will select PDF just to be quicker. Xporter will generate a new report based on a template. I'm using a template that we have on our template store so that you can replicate it quickly in your own projects. So first of all, we can already see a cover page. We have here a beautiful picture of Porto, a content table, and then we start having issue fields, so the data that I want to extract from my issue. So I have the link here as well. I can redirect. I also have summary, description, it's empty, reporter, assignee, so on and so forth. I can list the subtasks I have open for that issue, all the comments, work logs, and the data this document was generated. So quickly, this demonstrates to all of you that Xporter has a lot more capability in what regards customization and even the way you can organize the information on your document. As I'm going to show you right now, this document is built on a Word file and you can move and customize all of this. And let's understand then how can I update or change the template I was working on. First, let's go back into Jira. Let's close this screen and let's go into the Manage Apps settings. So within this, we have the Xporter menu. On Xporter menu, you can see an option called Templates. What are the templates? The templates are the documents we use to build our reports. They are built using Word or Excel. That's why you can see docx and XLS files in here. And we can get the templates in here by three ways. The first way is, as soon as we install Xporter, we'll provide you some ready to use templates. They will be automatically available on your project. Then you can also create and upload your own. Okay, as you can see, you have the add option in here to the top, where you can define a template name, give it a description, define where will this template be available on Jira pages and actions. So for instance, if I remove agile boards and releases, I will not see this template available on Xporter functions there, and this is what we call scope, but let's keep it on. And we can also upload the document we are working on, of course. So with this being said, we can also use Xporter template store that I mentioned in the beginning. So we have a list of pre-created templates and ready to use, and some academy templates in here. So you can search for the template, you can select based on the type you want to get. So for instance, release notes, and you have them here, and you can also sort them by rating, downloads, or publishing date. We were working with issue details webinar, and that's the one we're going to pick up. So I can see the template here, I can open this cog, and I will download the doc file. I have it open here. So basically, how does this work? It's quite simple actually. As you can see, we have the same data as we had on the PDF. So we have my picture, the table of content, all the issue fields, and all the remaining data present on the document. You can also notice that instead of having the data, we have what we call placeholders. Basically, we are defining Jira issue fields, okay, that we want to be replaced and printed out in the final report. How do they work? So we can either use Jira native fields, or we can use custom fields. So if you have custom fields on your project, they can be listed here. You can format them. So you can see we also have some date formatting in here to keep the day, month, year, hour, minute, second schema. And you can also work with conditions. So for instance, for comments, we were saying that for all the comments, okay, we want to print out the author full name, the date that the comment was created, and the comment body. This can also help us move information around and sort out what we want to have printed or not. As you can see on our PDF, the description was empty. So maybe we can say, okay, I don't want the description to be in here. It will keep being presented as empty. So I can just remove the full row, or I can work with conditions. So for instance, for subtasks, maybe I want this template to be used on a daily basis for multiple issues. So instead of removing and adding it to template each time I want to use it, okay, I can work with conditions. So I can say that, for instance, if a subtask count is greater than 0, I want the subtasks to be printed out. So if I include something like this and I add something like this at the end, I can make subtasks appear only when they exist. And I will leave this in here, and I will also do the same for the linked issues. Okay. And just close. And we will see how this reflects on the final template. And also, let's say I want to add some information. Okay, so I want to add the log time on this issue. Let's also say that I want to add some information. I want to add the log time on this issue. How can I do so? So I will create a new line because I have an invisible table here. Okay, and I will say log time. Okay, let's call it like this, and I'll include the placeholders. So it's aggregate time spent. And I will include the for method here to make sure that this is a proper date and not an epoch. So this way it's readable for everyone. So now let me include a new row below this one. And now let's have the remaining time for this issue, or for all issues that use this template actually. And we will call it remaining estimate. Simple. Now let's just press save and see how this Let's first save and see how this goes on Jira. So now that I am back into Jira, we can edit the new file we just created on Word. So issue details webinar, I will press the cog again, and I will press the edit. With edit, once again, we can change the name of our template, we can improve the description, we can define a new scope, we can also define the output formats we will have available from all of this: docx, ODT, PDF and PDFA, PNG, RTF, and SVG. Let's say we also want this to be extracted as an SVG. At the same time, we can also define the default format. This is helpful because if you know that most of the times this report will be a PDF, although you can give options to the users, it's simpler to have this as the predefined selection. We can define the page breaks, so to make sure that the template will never have stops on between pages, and we can define if we will include the attachments that exist in the PDF. Again, let's upload the file. And while it updates, the system is now changing. We already see success, so let's go back into the project. Okay, so we were using Export 10. Let's open this issue again. Let's go again into Xporter. The template is being loaded. Let's select the issue details webinar. PDF already selected, as you see. It's quite fast to load. Sometimes you may face some small delays. Nothing major. And here we have it. So, quickly we can see the changes we did. We lost the description, so we delete it. As you remember, we include the log time and the remaining time. It's simple, but it works. And now we can see that we have subtasks, but the linked issues disappeared. So exactly as intended, we have the comments iterated, the linked issues disappeared, so they are right here. Okay, so our conditions worked. This is one of the small examples, or one of the examples on how quickly you can change a template to meet your requirements. Because if, for instance, I'm going back and I want to test this out, so for Xporter 14, or let's use Xporter 13 actually, that doesn't have any subtask, and let's do exactly the same export using PDF. We will see that no subtask will be printed out and the header itself will disappear. There you go. See, it jumps immediately into comments. So one of the examples, or one of the good examples on how to have one template working for multiple scenarios, therefore streamlining and reducing the amount of work you need to do on changing and updating your Xporter documents each time. So now that we saw how to work with a single issue, let's also see how to work with reports, or at least one important report that we can get from multiple issues. With that being said, let's go into releases. Let's select already released version of this demo project, so version 1.0. Let's go into Xporter and select Release Overview. This is a quick template to use instead of the regular release notes, or at least it's helpful to have a revision of the work that was done into a release. Here we have it. So immediately you can see that we have a table with all of the tickets present in our release. So we can see the key of each ticket, of each issue, we can see the summary, we can see the type, we can see the assignee, the story points, and the overall time it took for the issue to be closed. At the same time, we can get a bit of scope details, so we know that for the past release we worked on 4 user stories, 0 new features, 0 improvements, 1 bug, and 0 tasks. As you know, once again, all of this is customizable as much as you'd like, and we have some time statistics. So we can say that for the past release we work on a total of 8 story points. We had a total log work of 6 weeks, 3 days and 6 hours, and a total issues of 5. One of a good example of how can we use a Word document to get still statistics and key metrics for your project, either if it was the total amount of time it worked, or the issues on the past release, so that you can do a review with your team. You can also further enhance this using Excel. So as I told you in the past, Xporter supports not only documents built on Word, but also documents built on Excel. And with this, you can also export to an XLS file and use it directly on Excel to create data visualization. And that's what I am going to quickly demonstrate right now. So if we go back into Jira, we will go into our active sprints and we will use Xporter to extract all of the current sprint issues and work on them on an Excel file. So pressing Xporter, I'm going to select a template called issue list Excel. You can see that the format is defined to XLS. The context is defined to have all the tickets in the to do, in progress, and in done columns. So let me export. Okay, press download, issues there, and here we have the Excel file. So what did we extract? So we extract the total issues, the total story points, the total estimate hours, key, issue type, priority, summary, reporter, assignee, story points, estimates, and subtasks. So now what can we do, since we already have data in here? We can create what we call a pivot table to have something like a pie chart to understand the priority or the average priority of our issues. So it will create a new worksheet. I will define priority as a row and as a value. Okay, and for the value I want to have the count of priority. And now if I insert a pie chart, you can see that this is all set to medium. If I go back, well, this is more Excel than Xporter itself, but just to demonstrate the use case, if I consider these two as high, and I go back and I refresh my chart, you can see that average of priority is now displayed here on a pie chart. I can even copy it to the main page, and I can build as many charts as I want using this pivot table method. One thing is to use extracts like the ones I'm using right now. What we can also do is build a report that will already use the pie charts so that we can have it every time we want to extract data from our project. And what I mean is this. So let's go back into Jira again. Let's once again use the sample sprint 2. Let's go into Xporter, and this time let's use time tracking webinar. XLS again. And while I open this, it will show you exactly the same schema or a similar schema as the previous one. There you go. But this time we don't have to create any pivot table. We don't have to do anything because it was already configured on the document itself. So let's just quickly review. We have the issue type, the key, summary, estimated hours, remaining hours, logged hours, and assignee. I already have a new page called charts where I have a pivot table with the time tracking data. So this will create a new visualization or a new chart where I can see per issue the sum of estimated hours, the sum of remaining hours, and the sum of logged hours. One important thing to do whenever we are working with these types of documents is to always confirm that on the pivot table the settings are set to refresh data on file open. Okay, this is very important to make sure that you always have the most updated data. Does this work? It's rather simply. Let me quickly go back into Jira just to download the template and show you what is happening behind the curtains. So this is a template where our main focus was time tracking. So basically what we do is we iterate it for issues. We want to have issue type name, key, summary, the number. So we define that it's a number but an original estimate, so the original estimated hours, and we then transformed it into hours with that division right there. Remaining estimate, time spent, and assignee user display name, and we close the loop, and then we build the pivot table with this data. So let me do it once again. So we will define the key to a row, okay, and then we will define the estimated, the remaining, and the logged hours as a sum instead of the count. Okay, so we will get the sum value of these fields, and as soon as the document is generated, it will generate the same chart as we saw right here. Okay, It's exactly the same. It's quite easy to do so, and it will allow you to build wherever visualizations you want on the fly. So as soon as you extract the template, you will see the data. This closes our demonstration regarding templates. I will now show you what else can be done on Xporter and what can be set up on Xporter settings. Once again, back into Jira, something worth mentioning is that you can use Xporter as part of your post function actions, and how to do it and what does this mean. We can go into project settings, go into workflows, and you can configure your transitions to include an automated Xporter report. Let me open the diagram to be a bit more clear. So let's say that we want each time any issue moves into done to receive an Xporter report by email. So how to achieve this? I'm here on this transition. So this is the first status I have on my project, and this will be the end status. Okay, so I will add a post function. I will select Xporter, and now I will have some options. First, I need to choose a template. We can choose the issue details webinar, the one from the beginning. We can choose the output format. Let's keep it PDF. We can call it issue details automated or whatever you want to call it. And you can configure an action. So you can do three things. First, you can attach the report to the issue itself. Okay, and you can define if the report will inherit the file name from before, or if you want to give it a new one. So we want to do this, so let's confirm. Okay, so the action type will be attached file, the description file will be attached to the issue, and we have the end result or the final name of the report. Let's add for now. Second, let's add a new post function, but this time I want to receive it by email. Okay, so I will choose issue details webinar the same, PDF, the same name, but I want to receive this report by email. So this is by email. I want to add CC and BCC. Okay. Subject will be issue done. And I can confirm. I will add once again, and the only additional option that we have would be to upload the report to a file server. So you can find out more on our documentation, but one good example would be a Confluence server, an SFTP server you have, where you want to save and store all of these reports. Now, with this being said, let's cancel this one. So now I have the two new post functions in here. I will publish them. And I will go back to my project to try this new transition. So I'll use Xporter 14. As you can see, it doesn't have any attachment. So now let me move it to done. And after a while, some seconds usually, you will receive both on your email inbox and it will be attached to the issue. As you can see, I already have the issue, the template here. So here's the PDF with the export with everything regarding the ticket. And I also have it on my email. As you can see. Here it is, same issue, Export 14 with all the data. So this is one of the good tools that Xporter provide to keep the reporting as easy as possible. To conclude this, and let me just go through quickly our additional settings just to guide you on what each topic means. So for miscellaneous, you have the global permissions. This means that if you enable Xporter for all projects and users, everyone will have access to it. If not, you can create permission schemes to define which projects and which users will be able to use the app. You have Xporter visibility, so you can choose where Xporter will be available. So the button to press the export itself, as you've seen in the past. Okay. You can define also if you want Xporter to be enabled for Jira Service Desk Customer Portal and for my requests. And you can also enable Xporter on Agile boards, as you've seen in the past, and on Jira Home menu. For the project settings, you will just define if you want Xporter to be managed on a project level or just by Jira instance administrators. Templates you already know. Permission schemes is just a way for you to define which users and projects will be having access to Xporter. We can edit, create a name. We can define which roles we'll have access to, which issue types will be able to be extracted from, and which groups. Okay. You can also manage in project level and set a specific permission scheme as default. You can create your file server. So as I've spoken in the past, is file server is an option for you to upload all of your reports to a hosting server. It could be FTP, FTPS, SFTP, or a Confluence. You have the option to fill all of the information and have your templates stored in your own file server. Then we have audit logs. So all the actions that Xporter performs are tracked in here. And we have integrations. So Xporter is a powerful tool, as demonstrated on this webinar, but with the help of third-party integrations, it becomes even more powerful. For instance, you can use Jira Service Desk information to create your own reports and your own templates. So you can also include glyphy diagrams, you can have tempo timesheets data, you can have X-ray, smart checklist, so on and so forth. You can even include easy BI dashboards on your Xporter templates and reports. Xporter is the tool to use whenever you're looking into Jira reports. As you can see, you have multiple options and scenarios where to extract the data from and to which format you will extract the data to. You can use Word and Excel to create your templates, manage them, work on them, and have clean, groomed, ready to use and to send to all audience reports with the click of a button.